Good morning, Bree. How are you?
How are you guys?
We're good. Kathy can't hear us. I mean, she can hear,
Oh,
she can't talk. So she's kind of on her own over there. Morning, Kay.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fabulous. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Yesterday was the first day back and re-entry is a bitch. And I'm sorry to say that word first thing in the morning, but man, re-entry is not easy.
No.
It's not. So, but I feel so much better today and I have coffee and I've got breakfast, which is goat cheese, apple and Italian bread and cranberry. I am ready to dig into my day.
Mm.
Somebody tell me some good news. What do we got?
Well, my renter that turned into a buyer is under contract for the house. So we got that done last night. And my guy for the garage and to sell the house signed. I know he signed one. I haven't checked yet this morning. He said he was going to sign the other one. So then I've got to get those loaded into Sky Slope, which I'm not looking forward to. And then I have to find them their stuff.
Nice. So, almost there. Nice job. Awesome sauce. Brianna, darling, what you got up there for good news? That Liz Cross can't hear. Kathy, I think we've got you now.
I think so too, but I don't know how long it'll last.
All right, but that's
'Cause
okay.
you know
Give us some good
You
news,
know how
darling.
talented I am. I'm walking, and
Nice.
and because I'm walking, apparently that makes me be in safe driving mode. So,
Oh, how fast do you walk?
hell, I don't know. I never measured. But so I'm taking my hand truck over to the person who's going to be my I'm gonna have my listing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's I hate this phone, all these phones. Anyway, she didn't want me to bring it over the other day, and she's got family coming to help her pack stuff up and move things. And when I mentioned a hand truck, I said I would loan it to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, that might be really good. Don't come now. The baby's being really bad.
Gotcha.
So now it's 2 days later, and I figure her in-laws are supposed to be here this weekend. We need to bring it over. I'll just leave it in the driveway.
Yeah.
And
Perfect. You do make me wonder though, because I'm not really sure, but my phone is never going to be safe driving mode. I don't know if it's because I don't drive safe or I haven't pushed some button on there, but that's okay.
I don't have a clue, but I didn't, I can't find, I punched and punched, couldn't find the volume thing, checked, found the settings, my headset said it was connected, and yet I still didn't have any sound. So anyway, but I'm going to turn this, I'm going to turn this around real quick and let you see my little lake.
Okay.
You got to turn on your camera, Kathy. We can't see it.
Yeah, unless it's dark up there still.
No, it's not dark, but if you can you see me?
Nope,
No.
can't see you. Can't see anything but your name.
Oh.
There
Can
you go.
see me
Hi.
now?
Yes, we can.
Hi.
There you go.
All right, I'll turn you around now.
Okay.
Oh,
Can you
pretty.
see it?
Nice.
Yeah, that's lovely.
That's our little
really
common area. Right there.
Very nice.
So, anyhow.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All right, Bria, we got you in that we can hear you. I can see your chandelier. There you are.
hi.
Hey, let's hear some good news, Sunshine.
So, good news. I am going to talk to 10 people, new people, about real estate today.
Nice.
New people. And do my lead follow-up. So I figure I do that consistently,
Mhm.
new people, I'll have like a nice little chunk of change. And then my listing, hopefully by the end of next week, will go live. So that'll be 24 units.
Nice.
Cool.
Very
You're
nice.
gonna want to
Okay,
mute
Google.
me.
All right, I'm gonna mute you. You're muted.
Okay, Google,
Thank you.
set alarm for 8:55.
Michael's
Follow
not
the
muted
title.
though.
Sure.
We should talk, once he says, okay, Google, we should just all start talking.
Right.
Anyway, hey, Liz, darling, down there, can you talk today or not? Chat if you can't, okay? Oh, hang on, I think you can.
I can talk, but I can't be on video. I'm on another.
That's totally cool. Give us some good news.
Well, I'm coming back from my crazy summer, so that's good news. Things are settling down, and I don't have to report for jury duty, so I'm coming back into the fold.
Nice.
I'm doing some, I set up some appointments to talk to some people this weekend about their real estate needs. And I'm working with my, the team member I brought in to the team to kind of assist her with some stuff that she's got going on. So
Cool.
that's where I'm at. And Kathy, I'm still working for you. I'm circling through all my attorneys and still trying to find you information. So we're getting there.
Very cool. Very, very cool. It's nice to have you back, darling. All right,
Thanks. Good to be
Laura.
back.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What you got for good news?
Okay, I reached out to 5 people yesterday from my database. I'm gonna get rid of my fear, and some people were nice, some people didn't respond. So 2 people responded back, and they would keep me in mind if anything came along or anyone knew that they wanted to refer. And 2 people didn't respond. And then I also had a client, not a client, I guess you could say it was a referral back in March who wanted to buy a property, but not until August. So now I have referred her to the broker in the Valley in McAllen. She wants to buy.
Cool beans. Do you have the referral form?
Not yet. So
All right.
they're gonna meet, they're meeting August 20th, 21st. So do I send it to her before then?
Yes.
Yep. Get it in Sky Slope. Is she at EXP also?
No.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just
Okay.
easier to track if they are, but it's not a big deal. All
Okay.
right. Cool beans. Michael, good news. Since your Google alarm is now set.
Say what?
Your Google alarm is now
Oh,
set.
was I not on mute?
You were not on mute. I
Sorry about that, guys.
Because I don't know about Google, but when you say, hey Siri, and you open up your phone, at that point, any talking goes into it. The hey Siri part is cued to your voice. So my husband will be talking and he'll stop and I'm like, hey Siri, and then he'll start talking and I'm like, send
Yeah,
email,
mine-
it's everything Greg said.
Google can be toned to your voice.
Completely.
Yeah, you can set it. It takes some getting to. I found it by accident through a couple videos and stuff, but you can literally speak. It tells you how to talk, what to say, and it tones it to your voice. So anything in the background doesn't pick up.
No toying with Michael this morning. All right, give us some good news, darling.
I got no good news.
You got something. You always do.
We got a
Yep.
problem.
Do you
Problem
leave-
child. I'm trying to close today. They won't leave me the hell alone. I'm just waiting to say.
Hang on. Michael has a closing today. This news sucks, doesn't it? That's right.
It does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have had
Golly.
to deal with this bee.
Mm.
This is the kind of people that I delete before we get too far on the phone. It just so happens that I know the family and sold like 5 houses in the family. Sold her this house. They broke up. She's with a new one now.
Mhm.
And when she broke up, they didn't pay the bill.
Oh.
So they're $45,000 in the hole.
Mm.
Luckily, I know enough about it. I kept it out of foreclosure.
Mhm.
And they're fixing to go to foreclosure, so we got it sold. But she's just desperate. She didn't pay her bills. She's behind on electric bill, behind on all of her bills. didn't save a dime, went to Tennessee, went to the beach, did all these things with her new beau, who was unemployed for several months, ex-con. Shall I go on?
Does it get any better?
And she's desperate. She's desperate, so we need to close. So she today, as soon as possible, so she take that money and go to her new place to put the deposit and everything down, but she can't move into it until Sunday. So she's got a U-Haul she's had to load up. She's got to figure out where she can put the U-Haul, where she's going to stay.
Yep, she's in this weird limbo for 3 days.
Not my problem. I'm just waiting on my funds to be transferred so I can go delete with her name and block her ass.
So Michael's bad news is he's gotten 5 or 6 deals off of one person and now is closing and is incredibly grateful that real estate only lasts 30 days.
Well, unfortunately, I know the whole family.
Mhm.
I'll never be able to block her out totally, but I'll never do another deal with her. However, her ex, him and I get along great.
Yeah,
He lives around the corner.
there's
from me.
always one. There's
Yeah, I've
al-
gone over there and hung out with him. But she doesn't know all that, but she'd go ballistic if she did. But he's pretty cool. And I never realized what a pain she was until we got into this transaction.
It's interesting when you help divorced couples and you know them and then you realize, I mean, it's never 101 or 100%. It's always some combination of 50-50 or thereof.
Yeah.
But you realize, oh, I remember I helped a divorced couple and the first one, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. And then I'm like, and I always thought it was him. I was right. It is him and her. It's both of them.
I don't mind doing divorce. I just happen to know her
Right,
personally, which is the problem. Why
right.
you never do. That's why you never do business with friends and family.
Well, hang on, that's how you feel. Frankly, this is how I feel. But Brianna has a whole business model that would beg to differ. Because
All
hers,
friends and
all-
family.
yeah, she's friends and family girl, and she's really successful at it. If she makes, if Bree and I went through her numbers, I'm gonna like lift her up here for a minute. If Bree calls 6 people in her sphere, she will get a deal out of it.
Good.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's amazing. Now, if I called 6 people in my sphere, I don't know if 6 would answer. And I would not want to do business with the one that does. I mean, it's just really true. It's just, ugh. There's this
My-
little line that's cool, and the rest of it, I'm like,
Well,
no.
when you say your sphere or your family.
Oh, my family. I mean, my family. I
See,
really do. My
family-
family is
Yeah, my friends can be counted on that hand.
right. Stop putting
Like-
fingers
like-
down,
My true friends.
because you're going to end up with one finger left, and it's not a nice
I'm
one.
married to one of them.
Uh,
But my sphere is fine. I get along good with my past clients. And most of my clients are friends. If I'm not talking and socializing with you, like her, we got a problem, then I shut your ass out. You're
Right.
gone. I'm not calling. But
So-
my sphere usually, like I say, every morning I'm on the phone to someone before we even get on the phone most of the time.
nice.
Right.
But my family is down to like 4 members now, because most of them I have shut out of my life.
Yeah,
over-
it's a narrow little line. We were talking about this last night. In Greg's family, there's a narrow line that's icky and the rest is really cool. And in my family, it's a narrow line that's cool
Yeah.
and the rest is like, "Eeh."
Well, like my mom's side, I shut my mom's side out years ago. They were just
Right.
nothing but drama. They're gone away. Haven't talked to them probably 30 years. My side is down to my mom, my brother, and my uncle. That's all that's left on my side. I mean, we
Mine
got
is
just,
lineage.
yeah, I got distant relatives in Georgia and stuff like that I do Facebook and stuff with, but yeah, for me, most of my spheres, friends, they're my clients.
Right, yeah, I hear you. All
Yeah,
right,
I pick and choose them.
what kind of challenges do we have, y'all? Who's got something?
How to
I'm
handle a
gonna go
psycho.
to an auction.
Are you going to the
Oh,
auction?
awesome.
So it's gonna
Yeah.
go,
I'm gonna go.
okay?
There's 2 properties that are worth bidding on. I don't expect to get either one, but after I'm back home and wipe the sweat off, then I'm gonna go get a certified check. And if it goes up to that, then that's as far as I'm gonna go. So
You're buying
the
your.
one
you're
that I
buying it
was,
yourself?
I'm buying what?
You're gonna buy the property for you?
Well, for me, for the moment, I'm gonna sell it and
Well, that's cool.
hopefully I'll build something on it and be able to put all that together if I can get it for a decent price. So, you know, it's not a big property. It's 2+ acres. There are restrictions and covenants in the subdivision, but the biggest problem seems to be roads. But it's, you know, it's not bad, and it's tucked away and it's quiet. And, you know, if I can put all the pieces together, I could make some
Cool.
money.
Cool.
Well, good luck
Congrats.
on
I
that.
hope you get it.
Let us know how that comes out.
Yeah.
Sure. It starts at 11.
All right. All right. Who else has got something like, who's got a challenge?
How do you determine when you're a realtor and you want to become an investor? Take off the investor or the realtor hat and becoming an investor?
Tell me what you mean by how do you determine?
Well, for example, say you buy a property, right? And then you want to like owner finance. And so the buyer, you know, you start working with escrow money, and
Mhm.
I'm just wondering how that works.
So you have a
Go to the
property
attorney.
You want to offer for owner financing.
Right.
Okay. So, all right, guys, what do you got?
So you want to buy, you own the
Be very
property?
careful.
Not yet. It's a plan that I want to do.
Okay, so you're going to own the property.
Right.
It will be paid for cash, no
Right.
debt.
Right.
So you're just a mortgage company. You go to an attorney, have them draw up the paperwork. Once you agree upon a price in your contract, I would not take my realtor hat off. In Florida, you're not allowed to. You have to notify them that you are an agent.
It's almost always that way that you have to notify them that you are a
Here
licensed.
too.
Now, I haven't done this since the early or late 90s, 2000. So what I would do is when I had a property was paid for, we made an agreement upon one of two things. Either we set the price or the appraised price upon transaction.
Mhm.
I gave on vacant land, I bought the land for $1,500 a lot. I sold it for $14,000 6 years later. Cash, I paid cash, it's paid for. I sold it to a guy, gave him a 2-year note, gave him a payment on, I gave him a payment on interest only. I wouldn't recommend that today. Figure out an amortization of 15 or a 30-year mortgage.
Mhm.
So for me, it's 10% interest. There's a reason you can't pay for it.
Right.
So you got to pay for it another way. You're going to pay me.
Exactly.
So you're basically the owner and the mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
So you need 2 documents. Are you willing to change the title to their name, or are you going to keep it in your name?
Well, what do you suggest?
Keep it.
It depends on the deal. Some deals I treated were like they just paid a payment. They had 2 years to pay it off. They had to put X amount down. I usually require 10% down.
Mm-hmm.
You have a payment of they made a choice, 15 or 30-year payment,
Okay.
amortized. You paid the payment. At the end of 2 years or before, you had no penalties. You had to pay me off in full. If you did not, in my contract, you lost everything. You got nothing back.
So right there where you said they gave you 10% down, I get to keep the funds.
It depends upon how you word that.
Okay.
No, you don't get to keep the funds.
Okay,
In my
You
way
get-
of doing it, you do, but it depends upon how you word it.
Mhm. Right.
Correct. So for me, well, yes, you could do a non-refundable deposit.
Bingo.
Down payment.
Under any circumstances, failure to close by X amount of
Right.
days.
You could. I didn't like that. It kind of sounded sleazy.
Right.
So there's a lot of
I'm
land
sleazy.
scams. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of land scams around here. But for me, it was like, if you performed, you got it. But yet my contract was so tight that if you missed one payment,
Mhm.
you defaulted. I
Yeah.
had the choice to say no or give you the leeway. If you defaulted the second time, I called the contract.
So the way that oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, sweetie.
On a house, okay, so I've held the mortgage, I've owned the property, sold it and held the mortgage, you're a bank.
Right.
I've done in lieu of, back then it was called a wraparound,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically I have own the house title, mortgage is in my name. You buy the property from me, you are a tenant. And I can't remember the words they use, but you are literally a tenant. So you gave me X amount down.
You're
Let's say
basically a renter.
yeah, my interest rate was 6 for me on my bank. You paid me 10%. I was
Michael?
allowed to take all of that money and use it to pay the bills, but your deposit had to stay in escrow. I wasn't allowed to take it
Okay.
because you were a tenant. When I sold the property and changed titles, I got the money. I could do what I want with the money.
I see.
And then if you defaulted, you just SOL. So it before you, I would suggest talking the terms in person, then take all that information over to the attorney and let the attorney sort it and work it all out and put it in a contract, because most likely the attorney's going to have things he does or doesn't want you to do for legal purposes.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, all day long. So my rule of thumb is whatever the interest rate is, double it.
Double it. Right.
Yeah, that's my answer.
So the way that we did it was, the deposit is, so also at 10%, because the 10% covered the cost of doing business, plus it covered the 6% realtor fees, which I wanted my 6% for my realtor fees. We did a non-refundable under any circumstances, upon failure to close under any circumstances by X amount of date. So if you didn't close by that date, it was non-refundable. The money that went towards, I then took let's say the house was worth 200 and you needed 10% down in order to actually qualify for a regular conventional loan. So I took that down payment. I set the price today. I do this in a dropping market. In an upswinging market, I would probably do it differently, but in a dropping market, I set the price today. And then I figure out how much the down payment would be that you need to close in 2 years. And then the payment is going to be the payment plus 1/24 of whatever the down would be. Because the theory is that money can go towards you and you can refinance that house in 2 years. So it works more like a land contract is what we did. And if you
Okay.
fail to close, then all that money reverted to me. But the initial deposit was my deposit. I could do whatever the heck I wanted to with that deposit because that was just the deposit. If you fail to close. Gary did a really good seminar. I was going to grab it really quickly on Gary's website where he has all the Q&As, all the weekly webinars. There's one called
Right.
Rent to Own versus Lease to Own.
Rent to own. Okay.
Versus lease to own, and the difference between those two and how you structure them. So there's a rent to own, you are the owner, and it's the basic ways you're keeping title and you're the owner, etc. The only problem with rent to own in many states, the deposits can go back to the renter. So you have to be very careful how you word it's not a deposit. If it's a deposit, in many states they can fight you and they can get their money back. In a lease to own, they are basically getting title. They have more rights than you do. Because, but the deposits are easier to say, no, it's just a deposit, it's mine. So I personally prefer a rent to own where I am keeping title and then I word my non-refundables because they're non-refundables, and you can charge fees, and your fees usually aren't refundable in almost every state. So you can have a pet fee, you can have an extra fee for everybody who's on the property, like you're the one renting it, but everybody else there's an extra fee, and it's an upfront fee for them to be able to be in that property also. You can have, you can build in a lot of fees. In many places, when someone tries to, you try and sue somebody, they can't collect the extra portion of it. It's like you can only get, okay, there was something about this. Remember this from Lou Brown, how you can get sued on the rental portion, but not the fee portion. Like they can't touch that. Do you remember that from the training?
Yeah, what I remember is that, if you call it a deposit, then you have to put it in escrow and you can't touch it. And
Yeah.
if you call it a move-in fee, then it's yours to play with.
Okay,
Bingo.
okay.
And then so there's that part to consider. The other part is when are they if they're going to do an inspection, when are they going to do it? And when's the pass fail? Because typically people will do an inspection before closing, but if you're not going to really close in 2 years, you're not doing an inspection then. That's
No.
not happening.
Mhm.
So inspection, if you're going to inspect, then you're going to do it up front, period. So
Okay.
that, and then the other thing is, they're responsible for their rent to owning. They're responsible for repairs.
Repairs.
Yeah, toilet. I do want to know what's going on though, because chances are that house, 50% or more of them will default. They just will. So know that going into it. I know that going into it, and I'm totally okay with that. I don't care if I get the house back. If I get the house back, I'll kick you out, we'll redo it, and I'll sell it again. And then I'll do it again, and then I'll do it again. And I was just talking with I was talking with Michelle yesterday, because we were looking at different creative purchasing things that you can put out there. So I know Gary did another class on creative purchasing techniques. That might be another one to watch, because you'll be doing it on the other side, creative selling techniques.
Okay, well, the agreement for deed, that was something that came up, with the class, the Lou Brown class, so.
Right, you were in that Lou class too. That's right. I forgot that.
Right, so that's why I'm trying to like shift. There's certain things that I'm learning that I feel like, okay, I shouldn't be taking escrow money if I'm not. That's where I'm like kind of a little confused with ethics, so.
Call your attorney.
Yeah, always. Yeah, it's always good to have. Another good thing that I learned from Kiyosaki is get your attorney and your accountant together, put them in the same room, and then, or Zoom, and then have the conversation. This is what I have. This is what I want to structure. Put them all together. And so that they, like my accountant is like, do not make a move without talking to me. Do not do anything without talking to me. And so with that, and then we've got a good attorney also that handles estates and planning and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I put the two of them together and then we go. Because then I don't have to go back and forth between the different stuff, and they can hammer out what's best.
Okay. All right, well, that was my challenge.
So cool question though.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what I want to move into. That's the ultimate plan. Also, right now it's pick up the rental that we've got going for the daughter, which should be finished in a week or two, Michael. So that's looking really good now. Finally. All right, y'all. I gotta run. Have a really, really good day. Kathy,
Bye.
best of luck, darling.
bye.
Gina, I'm gonna send you
You're
2
welcome.
questions.
Okay, what you got? I'll stay on.
I'll send them to you if you gotta go. I just want to know if we had someone that does land that I could talk to and someone that does notes.
Land and notes. Who do we have for land and notes?
Tom Z does land, but I don't know where she's
He's
at.
in, he's up, Tom Z's up.
Tom is in Virginia.
Yeah, he's
where
in.
So
I
am
am.
I.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Okay, call Tom
That would be
Z.
good. And then notes, who on the team for notes? Maybe Jamila, but I don't think so because she's commercial lending. Throw that one up to Gary,
Okay,
to find out who does notes, because I don't know off the top of my head, but there's got to be somebody. There just has to be.
got it. Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.